I'm going out for a walk, but I wanted to introduce you to this next episode I'm dropping. It's episode 2. I have a lot of great gems in there. You're probably like, why are you wearing this again? This is like my at-home fit. This is what I wear when I'm at home and I'm chilling and I'm vibing. It's either this one, my white robe, or my red robe that I'm actually wearing in the video that you're going to see. Enjoy this episode, my lovelies. I'm going to do a vlog. So in the next episode that I'm going to drop, episode 3, because I am coming out with the goodies this week, I talk about how I'm going to do a vlog. I had a really nasty binge this past weekend, so I'm like feeling real bleh about my life. But one of the biggest things I've learned in this journey of life is don't let shit hold you back. And yeah, so the binge happened like 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it was just overeating. It was overeating, and it was also like just doing too much because I didn't have enough food during the day. So I need to go back to like just having my meals. I got this really cute fridge planner. It's just like a whiteboard on the fridge, but it's like those little things help. They do. So that's where I'm at. Okay. Love you guys. Enjoy this next episode. It's kind of funny, and I kind of share stuff. Enjoy. Another episode of Ooh Girl, You Still Losing Weight? With me, your girl, Dia. I'm getting some water. Hi. Updates in my life. My weight went up last week because I'm really stressed about work. So that was unfortunate. I was not tracking my food and I was binge eating, so that sucked. Another update, I still have a mouse in my house. I thought I got rid of it, and I just saw it this evening. And I'm pissed because I thought I had it under control, so I need to buy more glue traps. To all you PETA peeps, I'm sorry, but I want it gone and dead out of my apartment. Third update, I'm just happy to be here. My goal is to be consistent with posting episodes, and so what we're going to do for this podcast is we're going to have one episode be like not science-y, but like how I talked about keto last episode, and then this is what I'm going to call like my Dia rant episodes, where I literally just rant about one thing that I find is annoying about fitness and body pause. And, like, really it's just, like, a clearing space for me. But I think a lot of people will relate to this. So I have 3 points here that I haven't even written down. But I know what I want to talk about. So, welcome to Ooh Girl, You Still Losing Weight with your host, Dia Z. Follow my Instagram, _DiaVavaFit 2.0 on Instagram. And then I also have my Ooh Girl. It's written OHH Girl U SLW it's on an Instagram handle. I think that's what it is. I don't know what my handle is actually for my podcast. I should figure that out. I fasted today, so I have a little bit of a headache, which is why I'm drinking water. I didn't have my first meal till 12:30, and then afterwards it was just like I couldn't really eat, and then I ate dinner just now, and now I'm not really hungry, but I have a 5K that I'm running tomorrow. So this is a part of me adding movement into my day-to-day. So I'm going to be vlogging tomorrow, you guys. But like really for me what this podcast is about is showcasing what it looks like to not like be like, I think a lot of these fitness girlies, what they do is they like obsess over it. They're like, I'm going to show you my journey in 70, 35, 80, 900 days. And it's like, I really feel like for me, fitness hasn't been that linear. Like, it's really been like me recognizing that, oh yeah, I can focus on fitness for like I can hyper focus on fitness and forget about everything else. But like, that's not how life works, especially if you're an adult, a single woman in the city, trying to make sure she doesn't lose her apartment. Like, you can't just hyper focus on one thing and forget about everything else in your life. Like, you are going to have to remember everything else in life. I just realized I don't have my wagon and I have to do laundry. So I need to make sure that tomorrow I bring my clothes, because I want to do laundry at my mom's house so I don't have to pay. That was like so random. I'm sorry, I just took you guys off on like a random tangent.
Anyways, what I was saying was fitness hasn't been proven to me to be able to hyper focus on and then lose all the weight and then keep it off. It's not worked for me ever. Every time I've hyper focused on losing weight, I've gained it all back and then some. So right now, my goal is this, to be a lighter version of myself at the end of the year. Lighter being more mentally light, more holistically light, having a healthier lifestyle. When all those things are light, I find that my weight naturally goes down. So what I'm doing is actually going to be recording my journey on a lifestyle shift that includes my food habits, my habits around my emotions and how I use food to substitute those emotions, and really just being more about mindfulness, and that mindfulness relating to like my food choices, right? Do I want to eat this or do I want to eat that? Do I want more of this or less of this? And I think those choices are very hard, fast, like caloric deficit habits, right? Like to be in a deficit, you have to not have as much. But I find that hard for me because mentally I'm still heavy. So it's like, whatever. But anyways, that's like getting too far into it, really. I don't need you guys to know all the details, but just know that when I do these videos, it's not from a place of like, I'm just going to lose 30 pounds and this is exactly what I did. It's more of like I'm really looking at this from a me perspective. Like, what have I learned about myself and what do I need to do differently to really keep this weight gone? Like, what do I need to do forever? And the idea of forever is really daunting. It's so daunting. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to eat healthy forever? But it's like, think about it. Like, you don't gain 70 pounds in one day from eating a hamburger and milkshake. But you do if you eat it twice, maybe even 3 times a week. But if you eat it once a week, it's not as bad. So what I'm trying to find is, what does it look like to sacrifice daily so that I can have those moments and not feel like I'm going to gain all the weight that I just lost away. And that's why I think a big piece of this podcast is me hopefully changing in my body shape and my body form, but also changing in my mindset. So that's the biggest thing. But anyways, I wanted to like move on to the segment that I love, which is bitching about fitness. So today I wanted to bitch about what it feels like to be in a bigger body. And so one of the first things I want to say is that like everything's just tight and uncomfortable. Your stomach spills over. Like I am like at a place in my body where like I'm bigger, but I'm not that big. So it's like people look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're fine." And I'm like, I'm a little bit bigger than I want to be. Just a little bit. So it's like your stomach spills over just enough over your pants so that when you pull your pants up, they either have to be super high-waisted or low, because if they're like right at your belly button, your belly just like pushes them out. That's really frustrating. I actually hate that. It's like none of my jeans fit just right because either they have to go all the way over the fat or they have to go right below it, so it's not like, and the waist has to be wide enough so it doesn't like, my belly doesn't just like, and I hate that it just it's very frustrating. I hate it. So that's one thing that I don't like about being in a bigger body. Second thing is like running and anything super physical. You're just heavy. Like I try to walk up the hills of San Francisco in my regular life and I'm like, oh my God, this is so hard because I'm heavy. Even riding a bike, it's like, oh, everything is just so much harder to do. And I mean, I'm only a couple of pounds higher. I'm not a couple of pounds. I'm like not double the weight that I want to be, but like I'd have a significant amount of weight that I'd want to be gone for my body to be at like a place that I'm comfortable with. And when I say comfortable, I just mean like my clothes fit well. I don't feel super heavy. Yeah, stuff like that. But again, that's where the mindset piece comes in. But yeah, those little things are really annoying. My favorite is like the Nike Pro shorts. So I love those spandex. I think they're super comfortable. When you have a little bit of a belly, it's hard to wear the shorts because they just... I'd say like most of my insecurities revolve around my stomach. So yeah, those insecurities can suck. Another thing is like hitting everything with your butt. Like I have a pretty large butt. So like I will knock shit over. On top of that, I'm like ADHD. So it's like I'm always just like anyways. And like I will walk into doorways, I'll walk into the corner of things, like I'm always just like like it's weird. I just have like this natural clumsiness where I just like don't quite like you know people who like walk crooked, like I walk crooked, like I've always just kind of like leaned. It's kind of the way that I like to talk about it. It's like I just have like a natural lean. It's like I gotta lean into, I gotta like bump into, I gotta like touch the corner of something. I gotta like scrape something. Like I can never just like be straight. I'm just kind of like, so one of the biggest things I found about like when I'm in a bigger body is that like everything is just like like double the amount of my clumsiness. It's like also with my butt gets bigger, my chest gets bigger, my arms get bigger. So like when I'm hitting and bumping things, it's like more extreme. And it's very embarrassing sometimes, especially working as a teacher. I'm just like, my ass hits everything and I'm like, like, you know, like if there's papers on the corner, if like I'm walking by a kid, like I have to like have certain size of the walkways because I'm like, I will demolish these kids with my body where I'm just like, ah. So it's like I have to have space. I'm not like just like a skinny mini that can just like ghost through the walls. You know what I mean? I have a large body, so I'm just constantly running into things and people. So that's something that's funny about living in a bigger body. The last thing that I'd say that like I find frustrating about being in a bigger body is, I don't even know. I feel like those two are probably like my main ones because I actually have learned to really love my body, but like she's old news. I don't want to leave 2024 without looking better in my own eyes, specifically when I look at my mirror. That's the gauge of like whether or not you should lose weight. If you look in the mirror and you're happy, you don't need to lose weight. If you look in the mirror and you're like, I could do better, you need to do better. And that's how I feel about it. It's like, girl, you can't be here another year. It's been like the last 4 years I've really actively been trying to lose weight, but I just struggle with binge eating so hard. It's so hard for me. And it's really a mental thing. So I'm actually going to get onto some meds because I'm just like at a point where I'm like, I have tried everything. Getting my diet good, making sure I'm doing this, taking vitamins. And it's like, I'm just struggling. I'm freaking struggling so hard. And it's like, why? Why should I struggle this much? Like, I don't need to do that. And I think this is like, for all of my binge eaters out there, that like if you've tried for years and years, done their therapy, done the work, and I'm doing the work currently, right? If you've done it and you're doing it and you just keep falling off, it might be time to consider really getting either like a therapist, going to like, I've thought about going to rehab for my binge eating because it's just like, I constantly go in this flux of like, I lose the weight and then I gain it all back. I lost 13 pounds last year and I gained almost every fucking pound back. Is that not the most embarrassing thing ever? 13 pounds in a year and I gained every single pound back and then some over 1 weekend of binge drinking. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why everyone's like, why are you sober this year? And I'm like, because I embarrassingly got so drunk that not only did I regain the weight back, but it completely derailed me from like every good habit that I'd ever built. And that's when I realized I had like, not like an alcoholic drinking problem, but like a problem with like excess and gluttony. The spirit of gluttony is very much alive in my life and she's gotta go. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. But anyways, this was like a little bit of a like an episode where I'm just like being open and honest about like why I'm even doing this podcast, because I think a lot of us can relate to the idea that like it's not easy to want to be healthier. It's not easy to want to do certain things, but also like it's necessary. And again, I'm not telling people that like you have to lose weight, you have to be skinny, but like there is a point in your life where you will realize like I am carrying around too much baggage. I need this stuff to go. I'm getting on the meds. I'm going to therapy. I'm going to the psychiatrist. I'm checking myself into rehab. Whatever you have money for, get the help. And like honestly, if you are on Medi-Cal or anything like that, like find free programs that can get you free mental health counseling. Because like I'm in therapy right now and I'm like, oh, I really needed this. I'm doing a lot of like work around childhood trauma, and I'm also working with a psychiatrist and a therapist, and I'm probably going to be in therapy for a really long time. I used to like go to therapy for like a year and then I would stop. I should have been in therapy for the last like 10 years of my life, especially with my dad dying and everything, and like all those things that I've been through in the last like my life basically. I should have been in therapy for, especially my childhood. I had a lot of crazy stuff happen in my childhood. So I'm just here to say, if you did not have the experiences that I had, meaning your childhood was chill, you had no traumatic incidences and you're fine, but you're still struggling, you should still go talk to somebody. Because I found some of my friends actually had the opposite effect, where it's like they didn't really have the issues like as a young child, like their childhood was kosher, but as an adult they learned, they like things started to stress them out. So imagine someone who had a traumatic childhood, refused to get help, which is me, and then like now is dealing with the compounded effect of like adulthood. where the people who didn't even have the stress are now stressed. And it's like me, I was already stressed, and now I'm like double stressed. Anyways, this is getting way too like mental health talky when we're really supposed to be talking about like body yada 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 yada. But like I just wanted to kind of draw the parallels between that. In my case, mental health is directly correlated to my body. And for a lot of you, it might be as well, especially if you had certain things happen to you that you wouldn't deem as traumatic because you're fine and you're sustaining yourself. But like for someone else who didn't really have those experiences, if you told them, like first, would you even tell them those experiences? Because that could be a sign that like maybe you're not actually being honest about what happened to you. And then also on top of that, if you told them that, would they be sensitive and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry? Or would they be like, who cares? Right? So it's crazy how like you have to know what your own path is. But I want to share my path to hopefully inspire other women to inspire to do their work, to then get rid of the things that they don't want. And if that's extra body fat, you have to get real with yourself. You can't eat as much. And so I really wanted to like, I have a love letter that I wrote to food that I want to share with you guys. Dear food, you have been my A1 day one since the beginning. You were given to me as a toddler, as an infant, as a child. I love you so, food. Why must you go? I love you oh so much, food. Why must you go? You have been here to protect me, to love me, to nurture me, to make me grow into the strong woman that I am today. But oh food, how I am tired of you. The weight that you bring onto my body is no longer worth the comfort. So food, I must break up with you. Food, I must let you go. Because honestly, it's you. It's not me. All right, that's the end of this episode. Check in, follow my Instagram, follow my YouTube. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.